Calling to order the July 25th, 2019 regular meeting of the Wheeling Plan Commission. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Secretary, the roll call, please.
Right. Commissioner Villanova is absent with prior approval. Commissioner Creech?
Present.
Commissioner Kalis is present. Commissioner Yednick?
Present.
Chairman Johnson?
Here. Mr. Robles, any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
Okay. I'm sure we have no citizens' concerns and comments. Okay. So moving right along to consent items. Docket number SCBA 19-22, Inland Bank, 337 West Dundee Road, appearance approval of wall signs. And docket number SCBA 19-24, CMX at 401 West Dundee Road, appearance approval of wall signs. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Kalis, seconded by Commissioner Yednick. Roll call.
Commissioner Kalis votes yes. Commissioner Yednick?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes. All right, items for review. Docket number PC 19-7, which was continued from March 14th, 2019. Arbor Court, 100 Arbor Court, minor site plan approval for landscape alterations. Mr. Robles?
Actually, if the petitioner is not currently in the audience, so I would ask if the Plan Commission would consider moving this agenda item to the next.
Okay.
The next item.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so 7B is docket number PC 19-6, Fresh Farms, 20 South Milwaukee Avenue, minor site plan and appearance approval for building additions. Mr. Robles?
Yes, thank you. Get to these slides here. The request is to receive site plan and appearance approval for a revised vestibule addition to the front of the store or the north elevation, as well as a small storage addition and relocated dumpster enclosure within the rear of the property, the southwest of the property or of the grocery store. As the Plan Commission may recall, there was a similar addition that was discussed at the May 9th meeting for a different vestibule addition in terms of the design and the architecture, same location, but just different design. Since that time, the owner has changed their mind regarding the design and is seeking the proposal that is going to be discussed tonight. In addition to that, as I mentioned, there is a storage addition that is also proposed in the rear, which is new to the request. Staff is in support of the site plan and appearance approval, subject to the 3 conditions as stated in the staff report. And with that, I'd be available for any questions that the Plan Commission has.
All right. We'll have the petitioner tell us what it is they're going to do. Just state your name and address for the record.
My name is Angelos Stamatukos. I'm the new architect. My address is 113 Central Avenue, Willowbrook, Illinois. And today I'm also representing Mr. Dinos Vigos, who is on vacation.
Okay. So, explain what has changed for us.
If you want
Can you use the
Yeah,
microphone?
you can use that portable hand mic there. So people at home can hear you.
It should be on.
Yeah, you can just leave it there.
So basically, this is the new vestibule that we are proposing. On your last appearance review meeting, there was a very flimsy elevation of that. It was approved. After I got involved, I proposed that we put a tower so we can match the character of the existing building and step it down also. This and this are the two existing towers. The material will match the existing material in everything, including the elevations. The two towers currently have stone, so that's what we'll be going to be using, slate roofing and also cast stone at the bottom of below the window. We're also proposing an addition at the rear of the building to be used as an extra storage for the bakery. It's going to be constructed out of masonry, and I have elevations of it on this side. Currently, there is an existing row of glazed black at this elevation. I continue the style of the bend, but instead of it being stone, I'm using brick in a soldier course type brick, so it will continue. There was also, I'm working also on the back, what I call the
receiving dock?
the receiving area. I believe you already have approved this.
Yes.
Good material and colors.
So you haven't made any changes to that?
No changes on that.
Okay.
And I can answer all your questions.
Okay, very good. Commissioner Kalis, let's start with you.
Thank you, Chairman. I really have no questions. Everything, all the material is going to match. It's going to, I'm just making a bigger thing based on what we already approved. And the carts are all going inside that, right? And there's two doors on the outside? Okay. It said that the trash enclosure is going to be moved, reconstructed immediately west. Is it going to be, again, the same material, same everything? Okay, great. That's all I had. Thanks.
Commissioner Yednak.
Yeah, the new vestibule, is the footprint going to be about the same as the one that we approved last time, or is this a little bit larger?
You know, I honestly don't know what the original footprint was,
Okay.
but it takes over two bays,
It's
two of the existing bays.
Yeah, I think we've actually, look, this is, I think, the third design of this. I think they enlarged it the last time we approved it, and then now, so it's, I'm not that concerned. It just looks, so the other question though is now you're showing two sets of doors. There was a question last time, we weren't sure if there were going to be two sets of doors. Are those going to both be automatic doors, or?
Both are sliding automatic doors.
Okay. And then you're also relocating the handicap ramp and the walkway, so now that was one of the concerns before, was that concerned that people would be walking out of the vestibule and right into traffic, so now they're going to kind of divert them over.
That's why we provided the second door,
Okay,
because coming out from that, in order to have a ramp, you do not meet code for the required slope.
right into the traffic
So
flow.
we are going to ask the customers to exit the side door and use the ramp to cross to the parking lot.
Okay, there was some staff concern about truck turning radius and the fire truck radius. Have you guys worked out all those details?
No, that's something that we're satisfied with having them return during the permit review to demonstrate that. It may just be that there might have to be some modification to the curbing here.
We will comply with that.
There is some additional room. There is some additional room to the south of this area that is afforded. So we think that it can work. They just need to demonstrate that. So
Okay.
the fire department was okay with having that condition on there, and then they'll just confirm that.
Because above that, you're showing a little bit of a cutout of the curb, but the report said that there was a concern because there's a fire hydrant there.
Correct. There is a hydrant right there now, so there is a little bit of room to cut it, but we'd have to take a look at that. What also is not accounted for is the parking spaces that have been added here. So those are all things that we just need to work with the petitioner to make sure that that's verified to the satisfaction of the fire department.
That was my next question. If they lose parking spaces, are we still going to be within code on the number of spaces? Or is that is that employee parking maybe?
That is after the fact created employee parking.
Oh, so it was added on, okay. All right, that's all I had, thanks.
Commissioner Creech.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So with the turning radius, they are in fact losing parking?
That's what we would have to confirm. The turning radius is shown for a semi-truck, which has a different radius than a fire truck apparatus. So they need to use that fire truck apparatus to show that maneuvering can occur within the existing limits of the curbing and the parking that's there, which just hasn't been demonstrated at this point. But again, there is additional room down here. While this is painted for no parking, there is room. This isn't curbed or anything. It's just simply paint on the pavement. There is more room. These are all dimension lines here that you see. So there is additional space down here. So in working with the fire department, we think that it's going to be able to be accomplished. They just need to demonstrate that.
Okay, well, the only question that I had was it looked like they were going to lose a parking space by the trash enclosure. So has that been considered as well? Or is...
Actually, we're not losing parking.
Yeah, so the trash enclosure is going to be moved over here now where there isn't a parking space right now.
Well, but I'm saying I saw the car bumper on the south side of that. I was just wondering
here?
if they were using that as a another parking spot. So I was just that was the only one that I saw.
Gotcha.
Since I didn't see the fire department turning radius reports, I thought.
That isn't that may have been, again, a self-created parking space after the situation.
That's all I had, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, and thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thank you. Steve, I believe the last time with the vestibule, it was like two sections wide, and this is three?
This is still 2 bays. It's still covering 2 windows. So what you have here is what you don't see behind this would be what is a repetition of that. So the vestibule that was presented back in May covered the two bays or the 2 arched areas. I think it's just the footprint's slightly bigger in that since it is a more substantial building rather than just a storefront system. So you have more substantial columns here than what were previously proposed.
Okay. Well, I do like this much better. It's, the other thing was obviously just an add-on.
Mm-hmm.
I really had no more questions. Mine were covered. So, is there anything else you want to say? Okay. Then, do I hear a motion to approve docket number PC 19-6?
With conditions?
Oh, with
You
the
want to read the
yes.
conditions
Please read the
first?
conditions, I'm sorry.
Sure, these are the conditions that stated in the staff report. Number 1, a fire truck turning radius shall be provided for Fire Protection Bureau review and acceptance prior to the issuance of a building permit for the bakery storage addition and trash enclosure. Number 2, prior to any alterations to the parking lot and/or curbing at the property, an engineering site alteration permit shall be submitted for village review. And number 3, prior to the construction of any building additions, the applicant shall submit a building permit application for village review and issuance.
All right, do I hear a motion with those conditions?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Creech, Commissioner Yednek, roll call.
Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
Commissioner Yednek,
Yes.
Commissioner Kalis votes yes, and Chairman Johnson.
Yes. We'll have something for you to sign.
I put Tatiana on here. Let me just clean that up real quick. She was absent. Okay, now we're good. Oops. Okay.
Yeah, but you got Tatiana on it.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
First, we get to sign. All right. There's two of them, you sign right down there. You get to keep one, and we keep one. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we'll follow up with you, Angelo, on the next part. Thank you.
I'm already working on permits.
Okay, perfect.
Is that the Arbor Court folks?
Yes.
All right, let's go back to docket number PC 19-7, which was continued from March 14th, 2019. Arbor Court, 100 Arbor Court, minor site plan approval for landscape alterations. Mr. Robles.
Thank you. So this request is seeking approval of a landscape plan that was associated with a condition of approval back in 2016 from the Plan Commission's review of major site plan changes regarding the subject property. The request was previously discussed at the March 14th Plan Commission meeting. Following that discussion, the Plan Commission requested that the petitioner work with staff to enhance the landscape plan and include some additional seasonal color, specifically with a focus on Dundee Road. The petitioner has worked with staff in revising the plan, and we have the final version here, which is a more accurate representation of many of the changes that occurred at the property with new seating areas, the current kind of capture of the landscaping that's there, some of the tree removal that previously occurred, and then what staff has done is highlighted in the red circles all the new either plantings or grass areas that would be provided through this plan. Essentially, there will be 5 new trees planted along Dundee that will provide additional color to the existing trees that are there now, as well as some additional shrubs along the western entrance to the main drive off of Dundee, and then some interior grass to clean up those areas as well. There is one condition that staff is recommending regarding an engineering permit for any potential fill that may have to be brought in. So it just requires an engineering permit for that to occur. And with that, staff is in support of the plan that's being presented.
All right, thank you.
Good evening. Boris Stradievsky representing Arbor 4, and this is Irina Makarchuk, our attorney. Actually, probably the newest attorney in Wheeling, right across the street here. I guess whatever Steve said.
Anything else you want to add to it?
Well, actually, we also applied for a permit for the redo for the garbage corrals as discussed, and agreed that we have to exchange, change the current setup to the excuse me, cedar and metal poles, and so we provided all the scope of work that is going to go into the permit and are awaiting for our permit. So
Okay.
as we get it, we'll be able to start working on that, tearing those out. We're going to actually just tear the whole thing out and then put the new ones in, because it's not possible. We sunk the foundation posts into the concrete, so it's just not possible to take them out of there. Just in case, I brought these in color, whatever the trees we're going to have in the shrubs, so if anyone wants to see what they look like.
All right. Anything else? All right, let's start the other end with Commissioner Creech this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a little confused about the trash enclosure. Is that something new?
No. What the petitioner has just clarified is that the permit has been submitted to construct the originally approved cedar wood fence enclosures to replace the white vinyl enclosures that were previously installed. So basically just clarifying that the permit is in to construct the Plan Commission approved wood enclosures.
Okay.
I kind of took it upon myself, Commissioner, to go ahead and do them in white, and you know, the approval was for cedar, so I was asked to redo them, and I'm redoing them, you know.
Thank you. Thanks for that, Steve. As far as the trees that you're submitting, I see that you're, on my drawing here, it gives me a height of the trees, but it doesn't give me a trunk size. Don't we have a requirement for a minimum for a trunk size for trees, Steve?
There is a minimum of, I believe that's 3 inches at an install. So with these, it varies on the height of the tree and the trunks and the caliper size at install. So when we receive the permit, we'll just verify with the petitioner that they meet the required size at planting.
Thank you, Steve. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Commissioner Yednek.
Yeah, I was going to ask for clarification on the trash enclosures, but you already did that. I am not a landscaper, but interestingly enough, I was visiting some friends this week, and they used to have a tree in their yard, and they took it down, and I asked them why, and it was a crabapple, and they said it was just messy, a lot of fallings, and the apples would be rotten and stuff. So I'm wondering if you would want to, especially, I assume you have a lot of kids in this complex too, so you give a lot of ammunition to the kids.
It's actually not like a real apple tree, you know, they're not real apple trees.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is one of the reasons they took it out of their yard was because the apples would always be falling, they'd be rotting on the ground, and
Right.
so I'm just wondering if you'd want to reconsider those crab apples. Like I said, I'm not that familiar with the trees itself, but is this going to be a problem?
This tree
that
will
you
not
have to
produce
deal with?
an actual, you know, apple per se. It looks like an apple tree. It's you know, it blooms like an apple tree, but it doesn't really produce an apple per se. You know, it's kind of, you know, doesn't produce.
So you're not going to have fruits from the trees that are going to be falling on the ground and they're going to be on the landscape?
This is basically what it looks like.
Okay, I just wondered if it would be a
I didn't know it
concern.
myself until I started looking at it. This is what it looks like, you know. These things just bloom in color and they create like a little flower tissue, but they don't create a fruit itself. You know?
Okay, all right, that was, like I said, I'm not that familiar with the species, but.
We picked them by the area because, you know, the landscaper actually chose the trees that would bloom in different times and stay green for longer period of times. And so that was just the issue of Dundee Road, you know, because you can't put any kind of a barrier there to protect the trees from the salt and the elements that, you know, that come from the Dundee Road because they create a fence. And there's nothing to support the fence. So everything we put there has to be sort of like tolerant of that kind of,
Okay,
you know.
all right, I was just wondering if you were going to have a
Right.
problem with a lot of droppings off the tree. That's all I had then, thanks.
Commissioner Kalis.
Thank you, Chairman, and I appreciate coming back with this. I Googled all of these. I appreciate the magazine. One request in the future, if you ever come back with any other modifications, we are here charged with going in every detail, and it would have been nice to have those here, because I Googled it and I think I know what I saw, but there was a yellow one, a red one. Like, I appreciate the color. It looks
They
great.
go by prairie or whatever, you know,
Right.
there's different kinds of variations.
Yeah, so I might have seen something that's not going in. It would have just been nice to have the colors in the packet, just for the future reference. More detail, better than less, so we don't have to ask these questions and give you less of a hard time.
I appreciate that, thank you.
So-
I will next time.
But thank you for bringing that. I appreciate that, and clarification about we had a crab tree as well, and it was one of the messy ones, and it was terrible, and we cut it down as well. So I echo the sentiment. Thank you for clarifying that's not those. As a kid, I did throw a few at my friends, so I know what he's talking about.
I'm sure we all did.
Yeah. But I think it looks great based on what I thought is going in, so thank you again for the attention to detail that we require in spite of the weather and all that stuff that you have to battle with on Dundee. So no other questions.
All right, thank you. And I think my questions were answered as far as the trash enclosure.
We're going to leave the opening by the same way as we did them before. We're going to leave a pedestrian.
Person
Right.
opening, yeah,
Right.
good. That was a good idea. the
Well, that
first
way
time.
our people can open, like when you have a bigger item, you know, they can call because we have on property, we have always a person who lives there, you know, so always lived there for like the last 8 years or something. 9 years.
Yeah, that was a good idea. All right. Anyone have anything else? conditions, sir?
Yes, there is the one condition that prior to any site work regarding any fill or dirt to be placed on the property, an engineering site permit needs to be submitted for village review.
Steve, can I address that for a second?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
apparently, without, we started taking the dirt out and we took it to the property across the street. And so the village saw that, didn't like it, stopped us. And so we, after that, most of the dirt went, out where it's supposed to go. But I still got a bunch of that stuff down there, which was supposed to go right back into Arbor Court. So, I mean, what we'd like to do is just take it right back, because we got mounds of that dirt back there.
I don't think we have a problem with that. We just need to make sure that where that dirt's going back, that it's not covering up any.
It's all blacktop,
Any drains or anything like that.
This is what we
so-
cut. The only places we're putting them is right by like where we're supposed to put the new grass and all that. That's the only place it's going.
Okay, yeah, we just need to verify
Absolutely.
through the engineering review
We'll
that.
call them and maybe they'll come out and, because this is
Yeah.
the dirt right from Arbor Court, literally from Arbor
Yeah,
Court.
and again, it's,
And where did you take it?
Right through 70 West, right across the street.
Over
And we own that property. That's where our office is.
Oh, okay.
And so I see you guys every day, Like everybody drives by. So we kind of, we didn't think much of it. We thought we were going to take it back because, when the work is done. But the village didn't like that and they stopped us. And so we had to pay to dump the dirt,
All right, very good.
But we got lucky because all the topsoil actually went to us because that was the first, few dozen trips or so that the trucks took. That was all the topsoil. And then after that, whatever was on, under the parking lot went, elsewhere.
All right. So with that condition, do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Creech, Commissioner Kalis, roll call.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Kalis votes yes. Yes. Commissioner Yednick?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes, we will have something for you to sign.
Thank you.
As soon as we kickstart the printer. No, pretty light agenda today. Oh, okay.
Nice.
And I work at the synagogue part-time,
So we're all looking at the village.
so I'm watching the dirt go by.
Yeah, you called that.
No.
There's a second one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see, sorry.
One of them you get to keep, so.
No, I figured we were gonna take it back. That's what I did, I just didn't think of going on. and
That's
asking
yours?
the village to, whether we can do it. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have docket number 2019-9 A and B, which we are just going to ask to be continued to August 8th, if I hear such a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kalis, Commissioner Creech.
Do I need to do roll? Yeah. Commissioner Kalis votes yes. Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Yednick?
Yes.
And Chairman Johnson?
Yes. Approval of minutes for July 11, 2019, including findings for docket numbers 2019-15, 2019-17 A and B, and 2019-19. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
And this is with changes that
Correct.
were,
Yes,
Brought up by
Commissioner
Commissioner
Yednick had pointed out a couple of corrections that needed to occur with docket number 2019-17 A and B, as well as 2019-19. So those were corrected and given to the secretary, or to the chairman for the findings.
so we got a motion and a second already?
Who was second? No.
Who seconded that?
Kalis. Motion
Oh.
by Creech, second by
Creech,
Kalis.
yes. Of course I did. Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Kalis votes yes. Commissioner Yednick?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes. Other business? Commissioner Kalis?
No, nothing. Thanks.
Okay, Commissioner Creech?
I have nothing, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Commissioner Yednick?
Nothing, thanks.
Oh, we're just flying by here. Well, I did want to bring up one thing, more
say
for
you're
staff. When we get our new commissioners, I think we need to schedule some sort of workshop for the two, hopefully the two that will be joining us, and anyone else that needs a little refresher. I don't think, Commissioner Yednick, you were never in anything like that either.
No, I would appreciate that opportunity.
Yeah, so, like Mallory, maybe you can, just the basics of what to do, and
Okay.
I could always use a reminder too, obviously.
Clearly, I need help as a secretary as well. Yeah.
So I don't know if that can just be a workshop thing.
Yeah, we can coordinate with Mallory on that and.
Does
set
that
up.
imply we have candidates in the pipe?
Yes.
I've heard there are some candidates
Okay.
that have applied, but I have not heard any names or when for sure they're up for approval.
I think in one of the meetings in August.
Yeah,
we should
I had
expect.
originally heard like the first board meeting in August, but,
I believe that's the tentative.
okay. But they haven't interviewed anybody yet or anything, I don't think.
That I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure
Okay.
about that. Yeah.
All right, anything else on your end, Mr. Robles?
Nothing from staff at the moment.
Marcy, nothing from you? Things are quiet? All right, then. Then a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Kalis, seconded by Commissioner Creech. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Land speed record.
Mallory gets to go home early.
Yeah,
That was quick. What am I going to do with the rest of it?
Consent.